Let's watch a leaflet video. Why anime is better for kids than Western cartoons.
We've created a society where everybody wants their hand held by the government and they don't want any personal responsibility. You should be personally responsible for your kids, the content that they consume, everything really. The people that they hang out with, the kind of things that they learn, the books they read, the movies they watch. As a parent, you should be personally responsible for this shit. Like, what is wrong with you, right? I'll give you an easy guide though, okay, guys?
Not wrong.
Easy guide.
Also not controversial.
But Leaflet's Guide to Parenting is very fucking easy, okay? It's like this. All right, you go here, you go on here. And if you have a girl, you go Smile Precure, and you just play this. You just play this. All right, you get all 50 episodes, and you just tell them like you can watch any Precure episode, whichever one you want. You can watch any of them, and then you have your kids watch this thing, and then they'll end up being upstanding
copyright
adults that learn about duty. They learn about being good people, how to be good friends, responsibility. You can like even give them.
Okay, so what we have so far, if you have daughters, but if you're planning on having daughters, make them watch Smile Precure, because they're magical girls with a good message.
Them the English version. I know a lot of people hate the English version, but you know what? Fine. You know what? We should dub it. It should be a natural. You know how like we're guys. You know how the government is spending money on like trans musicals in like Iran and stuff.
Honestly, I don't know. Should you make a child watch subtitled anime or just give them the dubbed version? I mean, do we really think it's going to be too hard for them to try and read, or do we think that would be a good challenge for the child to learn how to read and read quickly with subtitled movies and television shows? There's a good question. What would you do as a parent?
Or Iraq or whatever the hell. We should just spend money on dubbing Precure. Honestly, like a good dub of Precure that's like actually really solid, really well written, like done. We should just do that and then just provide it for free for parents, and it would solve everything. This is a kid's show, by the way. This is like for like 8 to 12-year-old girls. Actually, it's like six to.
Depends on the age. Younger dubbed, older subbed. I suppose that's fair. You know, if they're like preteen or something like that. You know, you're watching the subtitled version. You know how to read. If they're just a little kid, you know, 3, 4, 5 years old, yeah, give them the dubbed version. Because, you know, they're still learning to read at that age. Reading's still hard. That's fair.
To 6 to 12. Basically, each of the characters in the show.
Guess what?
Like
Lol.
kind of
Copyright.
Like, some kind of life problem, and then like they go through like an entire arc of like fixing it. And this was like her problem is that like she wanted to like study abroad, but then she didn't really want to, and it was kind of about like, is she abandoning her duty by wanting to do something else that was you know, like basically being faced with like two duties, like which one do you pick? And it was kind of about that. And every single one goes through it, like every single one of them has like their own like sort of problem, and it just teaches you like responsibility, like how to be a good person. Yeah, each character has a theme, and like hers was like having a noble heart. Yeah, and then so if you have a daughter, you get this, and then if you have a son,
she
you
looks
just give
the
them One
type to
Piece.
have a noble heart.
It's that easy. It's easy. Like I'm gonna write a guide. Honestly, I should do a guide. It's super
That
easy.
sword, that goes
a lot of
hard.
anime does that. That's why Psychopaths want to ban all of it. Yeah, well, a lot of like anime kid shows, like even like kind of weird ones, they have a lot of kind of they teach good cultural values, right? Her whole arc was that she had this like a single mom parent, and basically her mom was always busy, and that was like kind of the arc, right? Like her whole arc.
Going to have to hide the stack up overlay
what's it called? What's
here.
for my little girl? It's called Pretty Cure. Pretty Cure. There's like a lot of it. There's a lot of
Pretty
seasons.
Cure.
Like,
Okay.
There's like
It's
22. There's 22 seasons
Pretty
right
Cure.
now, and they're like about 50 episodes each. They're between 45 and 50 episodes each, and they're all kind of good values. Like,
Yeah, that seems to be something that's been lost with a lot of anime as of late. You don't see too many cities that go for 52 episodes anymore. Like, I just wrapped up, I binged watched all of My Dress Up Darling Season 1. They're currently putting out episodes for Season 2. Season 1 was, I think, 13 episodes, and that's it. I think Season 2 is going to be another 13 episode. It seems like almost gone are the days of an anime putting out 52 episodes, you know, one for each week of a year. That was almost to be expected for a lot of anime. And certainly, I think you still see it with a lot of tokusatsu cities. I don't know, maybe it's one of those things where it depends. There's certain legacy shows that still do that. I know Detective Conan is still pumping out new episodes in Japan. I think you're getting them like a week behind if you've got Crunchyroll. And I think they're still doing it where an entire season is 52 episodes in 1 year. My Dress Up Darling might cover the whole manga run. I hope they do. I've heard great things about the manga. Would love to sit down and read it myself whenever I get some time. There's actually a manga that I read recently. I think it's called something like Hitomi-chan is Shy with Strangers. And it's, part slice of life, part romance. And it has yet to be adapted into an anime, and a lot of people are saying it's really good and should be adapted into an anime. So who knows, maybe in a couple of years we'll get one, but I don't know. I know Hitomi-chan, I've read it all. Yeah, I've only read the first volume, but it's good. I like it. Only 3 costumes left. Next episode should finish the 3rd from end. Oh, I think we're all just sort of anxious to get to the part where Gojo finally confesses his feelings for Meren. The scene's already been written out in the manga. It has been written in the manga, but manga is so often a storyboard for what the anime would eventually look like. So it will be interesting and exciting to see that particular scene in anime form. Got an app, probably pirate upload. Sailing the high seas, are we? Then again, some of the best anime can be found that way, and manga.
Each character usually represents like a certain each character represents some kind of positive female value, basically. So like you have like there's all sorts of it just depends on the character. So it's like One Piece for little girls. It's basically Power Rangers for girls. The best way to explain it. It's you know how like in Power Rangers, I mean like it wasn't even.
It's a task
even in Power
force.
Rangers, it wasn't like quite as good as in Precure, but it's basically like there was some kind of problem that they had to deal with, and it was like trying to like have some kind of good values and like using that to solve the problem. It was kind of.
You see that a lot with the Super Sentai shows, which by the way, chat, if you want to see the original source material for Power Rangers, go to Shout Factory TV. I believe they've got available for streaming all of the Super Sentai shows from about 1991-92 up to the late 2000s. And in particular, if you want to see the original one that they based Power Rangers off of, Zyuranger, that's available. It is far, far different from what we got with Power Rangers, but still fantastic shows. Probably either the end of second to last or the start of the last epilogue episode. Yeah, that would be a good episode to close it out on with that scene. Glitter Force, that was my first anime. That sounds like a magical girl anime to me. Sounds like something similar to Smile Pretty Cure. Also another one that had Power Rangers vibes, Sailor Moon. Because I mean, think about it. You have five girls, got the whole multicolored costume set going on, have to combine the powers together to beat the baddies. It's right there on your screen. What? My first anime was probably the original first season of Pokemon. It's probably that way for a lot of people. We started out with Pokemon, Dragon Ball Z. What were some of the other ones they had at the time? I don't know. Some of my first animes that I ever watched were, let's see, they had... Some of my first ones would actually... Don't know if anybody remembers Ronin Warriors. It was originally broadcast in Japan as Samurai Troopers. That's available on Retro Crush if anyone wants to watch that one. That one also had a Power Rangers vibe to it. Well, that brings me back. I know, right? Welcome in, Rosso. And, anybody remember Samurai Pizza Cats? That was a Saban adaptation. They've got the original one out now, and I think they also have Samurai Pizza Cats available on streaming once again. But that was an interesting one where I remember talking with Tony Oliver about this one years ago. He was one of the producers and voice actors on the show. Tony Oliver, those of you who don't know, big producer with Saban Productions, also the voice of Arsène Lupin III in the Lupin the Third various television series and in the movies. I asked him about it. I was like, is it really true that you lot didn't have any scripts to work with when you were developing, when you were trying to adapt Samurai Pizza Cats? And I believe he told me, yeah, we had nothing to work with. So very often we were just riffing and just writing up improv comedy to sort of fill the time. We would sort of stick with the basic gist of the plot line. But yeah, that was one of those that he had quite a free hand to write whatever they wanted to. And it's one of those shows where the dub is actually quite entertaining. I'm normally not one for dubbed anime, but that one was entertaining. I remember growing up, it was quite fun. Were you able to watch that Healer anime? I recommend it. Was it, what was it, Redo of Healer or something like that? I've got it in the queue. Trying to remember, was that one that I watched No, that was Solo Leveling that I watched the other day. I've got it in the queue. I've got a lot to get through, but I've got it in there.
I don't like that, basically. No, I don't think Sailor Moon is as good as Pretty Cure as far as being like for
what?
Kids. I think that
blasphemy.
I think Sailor Moon is more like for older kids, older teens and adults. It's not really for little kids. Like Precure you could show to little kids.
Okay, well, I suppose
basically.
that's fair.
So this girl, she's a nerd. Like she was into like anime and Gundams and stuff like that. Like she's like the one that she wants to be like a manga.
Oh, The Brilliant Healer's New Life in the Shadows. Yes, I remember that title. I do have it in the queue. Oh yeah, I'm rather happy one of my webtoons I was reading got a physical copy.
Manga like writer, like that's like her art. Her art, because she wants to make manga. Like most of the time, the villains in Precure are kind of like they represent like kind of a negative emotion or a negative desire come to fruition. Is basically like what they are. Is like they're embodiments of like deadly sins, basically, where it's kind of understandable because they're not actually like necessarily like full evil, but the enemies are typically people that have fallen due to temptation, and temptations of like 7 deadly sins is kind of like what the enemies
living
are.
in
but
sin.
This guy was straight up fucking evil. Like this guy was just evil. Like compared
Cures
to like other
versus
Precure villains, he was
Joker.
like super evil. Yeah, because like these other characters, like they all had their reasons for like they had their
Sounds like a
reasons for
knockoff
being
of the
bad,
Joker from Batman.
where they were manipulated or like they desired something. And
yeah, guess what, Cures? You get what you fucking deserve. On Ordinary, it's a wonderfully darker take on kids having powers. Oh, that sounds interesting.
it was taken away from them or something like that. Like some kind of like you can see how they became.
Speaking of a darker take on that, there's actually an anime. I've been waiting for it to appear somewhere. It's another one of those long-ass names, but a lot of people refer to it as Loser Ranger. It's actually an animated Sentai series of some kind, and an interesting take on, what if you had one of these Super Sentai squadrons that they were actually the bad guys, and the real hero was some sort of underdog that didn't quite make the cut. Yeah, Go Loser Ranger, that's the one. I've been interested in seeing that for a while. Only trouble is I don't know where to watch it. Except maybe if I wanted to sail the high seas. They have a might makes right society where your level power can lead to opening doors to better ways of life. It's a good read as well. Yeah.
Became evil. Whereas this guy is just a psycho. Like what kind of shit do kids even watch nowadays, right? Don't they watch shit like Bratz and stuff? I don't fucking know. Maybe I'm too old. I don't know what kids watch anymore. So there's a lot of good stuff like for...
I honestly don't know what the kids are watching these days. Besides one too many TikTok videos of, stupid shit that doesn't make any sense. Of course, then again, that would explain the younger generation's humors about Skibbity Toilet and Ohio Riz and constantly prattling on about Sigmas and blah, blah, blah.
Under age 5. But I feel like once you get to like the 6
oh, yeah,
12
Bluey, there's
one
they...
really not good stuff. Am I the only one that thinks that? Like, the content doesn't really teach kids like good stuff, right? But just I feel like there were a lot of stuff like this.
If anything, watching Bluey, I think they injected some LGBT propaganda into that one. So yeah, if you don't want your children exposed to something like that, don't let them watch Bluey. What the hell happened to Bananas in Pajamas? That was a fairly decent show for children.
So we're just kind of like I feel like culturally good, like I just feel like they had a lot to offer people
Adventures
in terms
of
of
nature.
morality. Do we not have? Do parents not have the tools? Like, I don't know. Like, is it an issue of parents not having the tools anymore?
I don't know if it's not the tools, it's more of the will and the resolve. They there's a lot of parents that they can't be bothered. They really just cannot be bothered. It's like, oh, parental controls, yeah, can't be asked. Having some say in what's in the watch queue for their children, no. Can't be asked. Mummy and Daddy have had a long day. And we don't want to have to worry about such things. Oh, I'm sorry. That's just sort of what you signed on for. So maybe pull your head out of your arse or out of the ground or whatever you're hiding it, and start exercising control over what it is that your children are watching. I mean, a good start would probably be taking the tablets and the phones away. I don't think anyone needs to be having a tablet until they're a teenager or an adult. I really don't. There's just too much trouble they can get up to with easy access to tech like that. At least in the old days, you had to put some work into it, and you had to be in a fixed location with a computer or with a game console hooked up to a television. But at least the parents knew where you were and they could check in on you and make sure you're staying out of trouble. Especially don't let your kids do any online gaming. That's just begging for your child to get into some kind of trouble, or to even get groomed.
Like wholesome stuff to show their kids in like the West, at least. Like, what's going on? Dragon Ball teaches a lot too. It kind of does, honestly. Like, even if like Dragon Ball is kind of like, Dragon Ball is still kind of Dragon Ball, but like they do have like, fighting against evil and like working hard like to get there, right? It always starts out with them like kind of getting beat up by it and then having to stand up and then go train to go beat it up, right? It's kind of like the similar sort of angle. Lethal Weeaboo on Twitch has a good point. Parents basically just give their kids, dude, every time, guys, every fucking time I go out, like to eat or something, and I see a family and they have kids, their kids are always fucking playing like Minecraft or watching some kind of YouTube fucking influencer thing, like all the time. It's like some Mr. Beast sort of shit, like all the time. It's crazy.
Yeah, heads buried in a tablet. I wouldn't mind so much if their nose was stuck in a book. But no, they're always on some sort of tablet. Because the focus for parents is keep the children quiet and tranquilized. Because apparently they can't, I don't know, hire a sitter or something like that when they take them out.
Crazy. But like, dude, I'm gonna be real. Even Uma Musume would be better than like what kind of rot.
Wait,
I'm gonna be real.
what are the other...
Uma Musume would be better than like...
Ah.
But like, dude, I'm gonna be real. Even Uma Musume would be better.
Teaching them kids how to gamble early on. Let's go. I mean, it's still a damn sight more wholesome than some of the other shit that's out there.
Than like what kind of rot that they have now. Like Uma Musume kind of follows the same thing of like, oh,
Uma Musume is not brain rot. That is one saving grace about it. It's not brain rot. A lot of the shit that you see out there targeted at children, it's just absolute brain rot.
You do your best, you train to like kind of achieve what you want, and then life is gonna throw obstacles in your way and it's gonna suck, but then you're gonna keep standing up every time and you're gonna overcome, right? It's always like that. It's like such a good message all the time, right? Parents have been given plenty of tools to monitor their children's behavior. They just don't want to be parents. Instead, they want to be someone else to raise them. People treat their pets better than they do their own children. Dude, that's so sad.
Yeah.
That's like
true and real.
But
true and real.
I think that does tie into like this whole thing of like, oh, we YouTube, we're gonna monitor your kids now, so you don't have to do it. Like, don't worry about it. Like, we will monitor your kids for you, right? And it's not good.
I think that's what a lot of parents out there want these days. They're just like, take it off my hands. Do it for me. Do my job for me. Because they just... Again, they can't be asked.
It's not good. Parents should be responsible for this. And here's the problem, right? The problem is they want to do this at the expense of responsible people, right? So like if you're a person, maybe you don't have kids, or maybe you do, and you take care of your kids. They want to give everyone else a hard time in order to make up for the fact that some people are bad at being parents, right? And like they want to what's the word? They want to impose on everybody else for the sake of people that aren't doing their jobs.
Because of shitty parents, we all have to suffer, is apparently the prevailing orthodoxy. Because some parents are shit at their jobs, we all have to suffer, apparently.
People should be giving their kids good content. Like if you're gonna put your kid in front of a TV, you should know what they're. Oh my god, dude! This actually, the more I think about it, the more this really does play into like just a greater cultural issue. Like for instance, right before, dude, I remember when I was a kid and like my dad had to go do something. Like my dad would like he had like some important, like he has like some business stuff to do. He would be like, "Here's Star Wars, go watch it." And I'd watch like Star Wars, or like, "Here's like Land Before Time, go watch it." Or, you know, "Here's something Disney, go watch it," right? You don't even have that anymore because they fucking shitted on like Disney stuff so hard. Parents can't even trust Disney anymore. Yeah, Pokemon. I had Pokemon too. Yeah, true. I had Pokemon. Right? But yeah, it was like even back then when parents were busy.
Yeah, 90s Disney was pretty good. You know, put the kids in front of the television for a couple of hours worth of Disney shows from the 90s. Tailspin, Darkwing Duck, DuckTales, Gargoyles. Let's see what else we have. Goof Troop, Chippendale Rescue Rangers, Bonkers. You know, shows like that. They were an entire like afternoon or Saturday morning block, and it was fun and it was funny. It was good content. And for a lot of us kids that grew up in the 90s, I mean, that was our afternoon. You'd grab yourself a snack and a drink, and you'd do your homework while you were watching Goof Troop, a Darkwing Duck or something. Or, you know, maybe you'd flip over and you'd have the Warner Brothers block of Animaniacs and Batman the Animated Series and Superman. Kids these days, they got no idea. They'll never know how good we had it back then. It was a simpler and better time.
And they didn't have time. They had IPs and businesses that they could trust. Like, okay, like I can show my kids something from Disney. Like I used to watch like those whenever, you know, my dad had to like step out for a second, like he would play like he put in like a tape of like these Disney sing-alongs. And yeah, you have a lot of those kind of stuff, right?
Oh
but
yeah,
nowadays,
the old Disney
like,
sing-along
you can't
VHS.
even trust Disney because they're gonna do some shit, like they're gonna put some like fucking like some fucking political message in there that has nothing to do with being a kid and teaching kids good values. It's like they're pushing some weird shit all the time on kids, and it's so fucking annoying. You can't trust them to do it. Yeah, dude, that's fucking perfect, right? Like you watch a kid shows nowadays like this shit, right? Proud Family Reparations. There we go.
Oh Jesus!
So you try to give your kids like some content, right? Oh, you know, I can trust Disney. Disney.
Slaves built the pyramids. Slaves built the Parthenon. Slaves built America. Slaves, this is your song. Thank you, slaves. Do 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 do. Slaves, do 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 do. Slaves, do 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 do. Slaves, this is your song. Thank you, slaves.
Disney's a
If you watch Kirsha streams, if you know, you know.
trusted brand. I can put my kids in front of Disney. I don't have to even look at what it is. You should still probably know, like, to be honest, as a parent. But back then, you didn't have to. You could trust Disney. You could trust any of these, Disney, Nickelodeon, Cartoon Network. You could trust them to give something.
Yeah, back when they actually put out good shit.
Slots, right? I mean, on like Adult Swim and like, you know, gets a little crazy. Gets a little crazy at night. But you could always trust, like, you know, during like the daytime, during the kids time, you could trust that it was going to be like something that was going to teach your kids good values, teach them critical thinking, teach them all of this stuff, right? You knew that it was like a good thing. Like it wasn't something you wanted to like only do, but it was something that you could safely do. But now you try to show your kids some shit, and this is what they get.
This country was built on slavery.
Like, look at this shit. Hands up, don't shoot.
Oh, look at that. Copyright.
Like, what the fuck are they doing? You know what I mean? Like, these are not topics that kids are equipped to deal with. This is political shit that they're,
Yeah,
that they're
no,
pushing on kids
they're
to
not.
brainwash them. So kids can't even trust Disney anymore, right? I'm telling you guys,
It is anti-white racism being pushed upon young, impressionable children, and it's especially teaching young white children that they are somehow irredeemably evil just for existing.
anime just keeps winning. Anime is not doing this shit.
They say Lincoln freed the slaves.
But slaves were men.
And women.
So it's like you can't even show, like, again, you can't even show fucking kids shows to kids anymore.
Yeah, and I mean, also, do we really want something that has just got animated characters with such angry faces on them? Because this is what we're seeing here. This is done out of anger. Whereas you go back to 90s Disney and Nickelodeon shows and Warner Brothers shows, and they weren't done out of anger. They were done out of artists genuinely wanting to create something entertaining for children. This is done out of anger to push a message. They don't give a damn about being entertaining. It's just to push a message and done out of anger. Whereas you go back to 90s shows, that was done out of love. There was a love of craft with those old television shows and those old movies. There's no love here with whatever the hell this is.
It's like you can't even trust, right? Again, we're talking about kids, right? Like ages like, 6 to 13 or something. Now that I think about it, I think people were right. I think Steven Universe did start this. Fuck, I liked Steven Universe too. Oh,
I've
no.
never seen
I think
Steven
it did start
Universe,
this,
and
actually.
if
It
this
did.
is any
Whoever
indicator, I
said
don't
that
think I want
before,
to.
I think you're right, man. Even Pokemon is better because Pokemon is all about like working hard, right? And
Yeah,
overcoming
working hard,
struggles.
training
Not about,
hard.
like fucking reparations.
It's, I mean, what is Pokemon? I think that Pokemon can really be summed up with the original theme song. I want to be the very best, like no one ever was. To catch them is my real test. To train them is my cause. I will travel across the land, searching far and wide. Teach Pokemon to understand the power that's inside. Pokemon, gotta catch them all. It's you and me. I know it's my destiny. Pokemon, oh, you're my best friend. In a world we must defend. Pokemon, gotta catch 'em all. A heart so true. Our courage will pull us through. You teach me, and I'll teach you. Ooh, ooh, Pokemon. Gotta catch 'em all. Gotta catch 'em all. Yeah. Feel free to clip that, someone.
Can you imagine you put your like fucking 10-year-old kid in front of the TV and it starts ranting about reparations? Like, bro, what the fuck? This was all about being like
More
an
copyright,
elegant girl that,
yay!
like, heals the world. Also, this fucking princess walk was so peak. Like in the opening where like all the bad guys show up and they're like, here's all the bad guys. They're all the evil people. They show up and look at this absolute princess walk towards the enemies. And they're like healing the ground while they walk towards them. Like this fucking desolate wasteland that the enemies created. And they're just slowly walking.
That, I think, is a nod to, what was it, the animation for Daikon 4, where you saw an entire landscape get obliterated and then completely restored.
Towards them. Japan just keeps winning. Anime keeps winning. It's unreal. Oh man.
Yeah.
It's crazy. You mentioned instilling good morals into kids. Unfortunately, Western society has consistently pushed hedonism and the destruction of values that America was built upon. I know, dude. I know. That is the problem. And you know, a lot of the problem is, to be honest, and I remember this being kind of the sentiment before too, where like moral and religious groups have been very lame at creating content. And that's always been kind of the sentiment, is that
there was one really good series that was created specifically for the Christian audience, and that was Superbook, the original. I believe it was in the 80s, and that was where Pat Robertson's CBN network reached out to Toei Animation and said, hey, make an anime series about the Bible. And so concept of time travel was inserted, and observations of everything from original sin to crucifixion and resurrection of Christ. And they've gotten a lot of mileage out of that. They've had a whole lot of spin-offs and sequels, but really the original, that was peak.
they're lame at doing it. And the reason why is because there are a lot of people, a lot of the people that are kind of at the top, and the Republicans are also like, you could use like Christianity, but you could also use Republicans. They're all kind of like involved in this, where they had this idea that they were above engaging in the culture, right? Like they're
You're
too
not
good.
above.
They don't have.
You're
to
not
engage.
above engaging in the culture. If you don't engage in the culture, the culture will turn against you. I think part of the reason why we've seen this shifting cultural tide of history, especially in the past year or so, is not just because of government overreach throughout and emerging from the pandemic, but also because people in various right-wing spheres got online and started to engage with the culture. Engaging with the culture through posts, through discussions, through content creations, but also through memes. One thing that has really driven the culture, especially the past 10 years, has been the creation of memes. And there has been a definite rightward shift with a lot of those. It really is true that the left cannot meme, because so much of their memes are just not grounded in reality. So the meme game and the engaging in culture game, in sort of an underground sense, the right wing has actually been doing a lot better on that than the left has.
Engage in the culture, so whatever, we'll just abandon it, and like it doesn't matter, like because we're doing our own more high level stuff, right?
Yeah, I think it was also abandoned in large part by the left because they had the institutions. They had traditional forms of entertainment that they absolutely dominated, and in their arrogance they believed that they didn't need to engage with the culture, and especially the online culture. They didn't have to engage in memes. They didn't have to have these conversations with people because for them they were just so swept up in huffing their own farts concerning the end of history that they thought, well, we've won and anything else is just an aberration and a mental illness, and we can just, use the state to violently persecute anyone who dares to defy us. Trouble is, it didn't quite work because the response was just so overwhelming against them. They got ratioed the fuck out of them. They got ratioed so hard, and they're still getting ratioed, and they'll continue to be ratioed because people have realized how full of shit they are.
And by doing that, they have allowed basically depravity and evil to kind of take its place, and then they've created the content, right? And so we're only realizing now, kind of in the more recently, in like in the last, like, I want to say 5 years, where people have saying like, oh shit, like if we don't do this, then Yuri, Bezmenov is going to be true about how they just allowed the culture to be like taken over, basically, right? So you have all this content coming out that doesn't really teach any values, any good values to like kids. And now you're going to have kids that don't have good values. And then those people are going to be the ones creating the next content. And soon you're completely taken over. Yeah, exactly. I know this is like kind of a really big tangent on the whole thing, but guys, I think I went on like a 40-minute tangent. It's only been 1 minute in the video. 1 minute and 28 seconds.
But we love the tangents.
What I'm trying to say is that people need to parent more.
Using AI to monitor behavior is pretty dang creepy. But then they say that if they estimate that you're under 18, you're going to be forced to submit your credit card or government ID to prove that you're not. Yeah, that policy seems pretty terrible in of itself, and it also seems like something that could be abused just to try to force people to submit their...
If I have kids, I'm showing them Trigun, Gunsmith Cats, and other gun...
Oh, hell yeah. Hang on. Trigun, Gunsmith Cats, other gun-focused anime to show guns are cool and badass, then Madoka Magica to show them guns kill people and aren't toys. Is that a bad idea? No, that is a brilliant idea. That is an absolute brilliant idea. I think we found a top tip for parents here. Those of you who are parents or are thinking about becoming parents, write this down. Show your children Trigun, Gunsmith Cats, and other gun-focused anime to show them that guns are cool and badass, then follow it along with Madoka Magica. I think that's brilliant. That's absolutely brilliant.
Gunsmith Cats and other gun... What the fuck? And then Malika, don't show them Malika, dude. Show them Pretty Cure in like One Piece.
Oh yeah, Pretty Cure and
Draco,
I guess One
Boku
Piece.
no Pico. What are you doing, bro?
Of course, with One Piece, there's now so many fucking episodes that it's like you could start at the beginning, but you'd never catch up. I have a feeling that by the time I have children, by the time I have grandchildren, One Piece will probably still be going on. They'll probably still be going. It's just a song that never ends.
Trial by fire. Then show them Tanya. Don't show them Tanya the Evil. What are you guys doing?
That was good content. We're going to give that a like. And then I am going to drop in the chat the link to the leaflet video.